Happy Wednesday, guys. I'm Jen Lormond, exercise physiologist, mom of 3, and co-owner of Tinkler.
I'm Christina Walsh, physical therapist, mom of 2, and co-owner of Tighten Your Tinkler. And we are excited to be here today with a topic that is pertinent to all of us, especially if you have back, hip, pelvic stuff going on. We were going to have our medicine practitioner on today, but she was unable to make it, so we're diverting
an audible.
Yeah, to another topic we were excited to get to anyway. So it has to do with what you put in your mouth, having to do a lot with how things function down here.
Not surprising. But we do find that many of the women that we work with, particularly the women who are having all of the bladder issues, tend to not want to drink as much, because obviously if you're having urgency or frequency issues with the bladder, the first thing that you want to do is stop drinking as much water or fluids throughout the day, which creates dehydration. And where does that lead us, Chris?
Well, that most often leads us to constipation. And y'all, constipation occurs on a spectrum. You don't have to be needing an enema to be constipated.
I think you're so right. A lot of women think, oh, I'm not constipated because I'm not having enemas, or I am passing stool, but you're having the rabbit poop. Like in my house, the rabbit poop is constipation.
Yep, even my 4-year-old knows, because we talk about poop consistency and appearance and what that means for your body. She knows to come and tell me. If she'll say, Mommy, I think I need to eat more fruits and vegetables and drink more because my poop looks like little rocks.
And let's all have a moment for this mom.
Right?
That's awesome.
It's great to talk about these things. Let's let her know right now. And she knows. Just like it's a matter of fact and course. It's not an issue. It's not something gross to talk about.
Nope.
It's empowering for her. She's ready to take that in her own hands. She says, Mommy, let's cut up an apple. She goes to the fridge. She knows she needs some more fiber. She doesn't say it that way. But same applies for us grown-ups. And generally by the time we're in our 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, the problem has not gotten better, it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
So that constipation, again, on a spectrum, it doesn't have to be, in the emergency room.
Like I was a week ago with my 6-year-old with impacted poop, doubled over in pain with impacted poop. So we have some props today. We're going to show you how we can help you with that. And then we have another story that we'll discuss maybe after we show kind of some things that you can do to help yourself. So these are products that we recommend clients, and actually this is my 6-year-old's poop juice at the moment. So he wants his poop juice every day. And I know many of you might take Miralax, Metamucil. Those products work great. I'd rather do natural things to see if we can help that process with real food.
Many of us can get away with using real food to treat these issues, and maybe it doesn't seem glamorous or fancy, but it actually tends to work and doesn't cause any other side effects in the process, which is awesome.
So here's what I had in my house at the moment that we're using. It's a milled chia and flaxseed powder. I recommend either this mixture or just straight up milled chia seeds, and it's a 1 ounce scoop of this. I put that in 4 ounces of apple juice for him. I will say this is soluble fiber, so if you're going this route and maybe you've done Metamucil before, you got to chug a lug, because if you don't, it's going to end up being apple sauce. For hydration, the products that we recommend are these Highlight electrolytes. I've tried several different things over the years. There's another product that I really liked called E-Lights. This is just a natural product. There's no sugar. It's basically trace minerals, and I like it because it comes in this little bottle. It's a concentrate. So I put literally 8 drops in a glass of water, and that's enough. And so this lasts a very long time, and it's a great way if you don't want to drink a lot of water that you can stay hydrated.
And it helps your body with absorption.
Correct. And then I know that's your deal.
This is so important, what you're eating, as my 4-year-old already knows, to improve your stool consistency and frequency, is fiber. And it can be real food. These are dried apricots. And if you don't like prunes, this works too, and much sweeter. Another thing is just increasing fruit and vegetable consumption. It sounds so simple, but an apple a day is what works for me. And I notice when I get off of that, I start to have more bloating in my lower abdomen, and I start to have more pressure in the backside of my pelvic bowl because I know I'm not fully emptying, and it's because I got off of my track of eating enough fiber. I probably wasn't drinking enough over the weekend because we're running from here to there and everywhere, keeping the kids busy. But it's never too late to get back on track. These are small changes that have an impact really quick, and they're easy and they're affordable.
And, you know, changing your stool consistency, while not glamorous, the big deal for your pelvic floor is if you're having hard stool, you're having to sit on the toilet longer, even using something like a toileting stool.
And you're having to strain.
You're having to push down more, which is creating more downward pressure, which exacerbates symptoms of pelvic floor dysfunction, and particularly pelvic organ prolapse, or the backside of the bowl, those rectocele symptoms, which kind of leads into our next client story that's relevant to this topic.
Yes, and we know she's not the only one with this story, so this might be you. A common, maybe I don't want to say misdiagnosis, because it's not, but it's a situation of not really getting to the root cause of what's actually happening. This lady thought she was having hemorrhoids chronically, and she was associating those with what originally?
Just chronic hemorrhoids from having children.
Yep.
Is when that really started for her.
And so maybe she
just
didn't
thought
really
it was
know
a
the
flare.
Yeah, and having some flares and having to have procedures to treat that. And Jen and I started really asking her some deeper questions about bowel function and pressure, and we helped her to self-diagnose that she was actually having a rectocele situation where she was having to strain and press downward pressure for every bowel movement, which was causing and exacerbating the hemorrhoids. Because the stool was pouching in that little.
Ooh, I'm gonna go get our picture.
Oh, thank you. The stool was collecting basically, or getting stuck in that little pouch where the rectum, the wall between the vagina and the rectum, has weakened, and the rectum is basically kind of protruding and bulging forward.
Yeah, just remind them.
This is a great image. So the rectocele. Do you want to do some pointing?
Yeah.
The rectocele.
See how it's blocking the opening here? This compartment is collapsing into the vaginal compartment. Here's normal up here.
So where the bowel movement, maybe trace where the bowel movement is coming down. So the bowel movement is coming down the rectum, and instead of going out the passage right there kind of peacefully, it's getting kind of stuck there.
In here.
And so your body, you get the sensation you need to have that bowel movement, and you're really straining and pushing, and you're going,
you
why?
Feel that it's there.
Yep.
But it's going into the vaginal compartment instead of being able to come down. So it's getting stuck.
In that little rectal pouch.
Correct.
Basically.
Like it gets stuck in this little tissue piece over here instead of being able to pass out through the hole here.
Yep. And so this is a situation where, yes, she was having hemorrhoids, but no one had really talked through these nitty-gritty details with her enough to help her recognize that if we were able to help treat and give more support to that pelvic floor, some up and in support through, self-care tools as well as techniques and exercises that we can teach, we were really able to help her relieve a lot of those symptoms and a lot of that straining, which was contributing to the hemorrhoids.
And in the program, we really do go through proper toileting positions for this particular situation to help be able to evacuate your bowels.
Which also make a difference.
Which is a very big deal.
So the food and drink that we put in up here has a big impact down on that pelvic floor through the hips, low back, pelvis, and can really impact your bowel and bladder symptoms and that pelvic pressure.
And we recognize that springtime is coming up. We have a lot of clients who are looking forward to getting into their swimsuits and all of those things. And what I will tell you is that fiber makes you feel fuller. And so if for no other reason, if your motivation factor is you're looking to lose a couple pounds, you're looking to feel better, when you're blocked up, your energy is crashing. I mean, you're literally full of,
you know
fill
what?
in the blank, right?
And you're going to feel bloated, and you're going to feel
Yes.
pressure, and it's uncomfortable. So
Miserable.
increasing that fiber intake not only will make you feel fuller, so you'll eat less junk, which I know is a goal for all of us, but you'll also be passing your stool and moving those bowels more regularly and consistently, which
Which
will
is going to improve your energy, which is going to make your stomach feel flatter, and which is going to cause you to probably eat less calories, because soluble fiber like this literally fills up the gut and in between and pushes all the you know what out. So if you have questions on this topic, we would love to hear them. We'd love to try to answer them for you. You can drop them below this video, or you can send us a private message. If you found this information helpful, we'd be grateful if you shared. We'd love to get the word out, all the different ways that we can help women feel better in their bodies again, take back control of their bodies again with some really simple changes. That's what we're about.
And if you'd like to check out our program, it's www.tightenyourtinkler.com. We are all about empowering you to take better care of yourself through improving your stability and strength and mobility at the center of gravity of your body, those hips and pelvis and low back. And so we hope this nutrition information has been helpful, and we are here to be a resource for you. Send us those tough questions. We love to help troubleshoot and solve the difficult problems.
And should we tease for next week's show?
Oh yes, definitely.
We have a Valentine's edition.
You might
Could
say.
be good or bad. We're going to be talking a little bit more in depth about pain with intimacy next week. So if that's a topic that's relevant to you, please tune in next week.
Be sure to tune in. It's more complex than you might think. There are lots of different sources that can cause different types of pain and issues in that area. And we are going to delve into a lot more detail to really help you troubleshoot those issues for yourself and get some improvements.
And we are keeping it classy as always, ladies. So no need to stress or worry about that. Until next Wednesday, take care of yourself.